Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going way better than fantastic and your journey to self-betterment is going way better than fantastic as well. I also want to say thank you to all of you that support this channel. With your kind and insightful comments, I can see the wheels are turning. You are indeed slowing things down and thinking about all of the details now. It's great to see and hear. Some of you have been here for years. And others are new. But you are all welcome. And I'm glad. For each and every one of you that watch my content. And that you find the time to interact on this little cartoon man's channel. I really appreciate it a lot. And your interaction helps others. I really want you to know that. And this actually ties in with the subject at hand. I will say more on that in a moment. But here's the thing. When you comment and you talk about your experiences, and you give your thoughts and insights, it lets other people know out there that they aren't alone. And that they haven't gone off of the deep end. One subscribers commented on my last video that these narcissist sociopath types, they try to convince you and everyone else that you have gone off of the deep end. And this is so true. And when we have people here talking about what they went through and what they lived through, it lets others know. Wait a minute. I didn't just make this stuff up. It's not all in my head. These individuals were trying to make me out to be the problem and that I was seeing things wrong. And the truth is that wasn't the case. It's actually far worse and evil than what you might have known. And your comments shine a big and bright light on this. So it's so important. So from me to you, thank you very much for being a part of this channel. I really mean that. With that being said, this all relates to the topic at hand. In the last video, we briefly talked about a sociopath that was being interviewed about his condition. And he pretty much put it out there how he picks people to use and manipulate. But one of their biggest manipulations is to get the majority of the public to think and believe people like that are extremely rare. And they are a small percentage of the population. And one way this is achieved is in the movies and other entertainment. We see the person that has no feeling or emotion portrayed as this evil villain. Or a deformed man wearing a hockey mask carrying a knife, chasing down young people that are camping in the woods. And this allows us to drop our guard around people we should be mindful of. In this interview with the sociopath we were talking about in the last video, the interviewer asked the man diagnosed a sociopath why he smiled. As he seemed to smile quite a bit. And if you didn't know any better, you might think he was just a happy charming person. But his answers shed a lot of light on how he thinks and operates. He said he smiles a lot because it disarms people. It basically allows people to feel comfortable around him and for him to see if there is something that he can use them for. You see, we live in a world where vetting people is getting more and more difficult. Because one-on-one interactions are going out of the window. So if you haven't been around someone in a long time, you are lonely for a friend or a life partner, and you meet this person that is smiling and seems to have an energetic personality, you might be willing to give this person the benefit of the doubt. But what we can learn from the interview with this man that was diagnosed a sociopath is that benefit of the doubt is all he's looking for, just to get his way into your life and get what it is he wants from you. And that could be time, narcissistic supply, money, status. You're fired from your job position so he can fill your shoes. And as pointed out by another subscriber, this information should be taught in school and or to young people. Or at least by their parents. That in life there are people out there that love to manipulate. And if you aren't careful, getting entangled with such a person could set you back by many years. But it's not taught. And furthermore, even the parents that are decent and trying to do their best, they more than likely have little time to spend with their children because it's even tough to make it with two incomes. When many years ago, all you needed was one. You see, narcissists, sociopaths want supply and they want control. And just like the devil, they want you to think they aren't real. Much like the devil was portrayed as a little funny guy in red pajamas with a pitchfork. So much so, it became a joke and to where people no longer took the devil seriously. When in years past people took the devil very seriously. But through media and entertainment, this perception was changed over time. Same with the narcissist or sociopath. First off, we are told these conditions are rare, when in reality, the numbers they have are from those that they have been able to diagnose, which is usually after they have committed multiple crimes. However, you don't hear this talked about in this manner. That hey, we have numbers. But the numbers might be off because these types of people by and large don't get therapy or a diagnosis unless they are forced. And even then, getting a proper understanding of what is going on with these people is tricky. Because they lie pathologically. Look people, we've been surrounded around these people for a long time. And these interviews confirm it. At least for me it does. There is another video out there I watched a long while ago. And someone recently mentioned it here in the comments section. How this woman admitted to being a narcissist. And as she was trying to do her best to not act in the evil way she has been acting. Not because she felt bad for the people that she was hurting, but because she knows it's not socially acceptable and it tends to cause problems. She even mentioned that she was going to church, if I'm not mistaken. And I got the feeling it wasn't for the right reasons. But it was likely to appear more normal. I was like, wow. A narcissist is likely in Bible study. Or possibly teaching from the Bible. You just can't make this stuff up. But because people's discernment is low. It's really low. It's hard for one another to see what is going on. And after watching these interviews, and a few others out there, it really drives the point home of being careful. And slowing things down. You are not being paranoid by being careful. Because though some of these toxic types can keep their mask on for longer if need be. Meaning if there is a long-term goal they are trying to achieve. But most of these people admit it's hard work. And eventually their mask slips and they either intentionally show themselves or by accident show themselves. This is where I think we get that old saying. The first time someone shows you who they are, believe them. Believe them. And I think what can be added to that saying is you just witnessed their mask slip. And the nice kind person you met months before was a fraud. The person that you are seeing today. This other evil person. This is the real them. Do not give this person a second chance in your life. You see, there was an instance on my channel many years ago. I don't know what was going on with this person. But I didn't want to stop to find out. But it was a nice subscriber that was active in the comment section. And she was making videos about her life. About her hardships. I thought she was a kind soul. I truly felt bad for her. Then out of the blue. All I can say is she made some strange request of me that I wasn't comfortable with. I respectfully declined in a very polite and courteous way. She changed from mild-mannered to extremely aggressive and angry. Accusing me of gaslighting her and all kinds of things that made no sense whatsoever. The moment I seen this, I blocked her and moved on. I prayed for her. But it wasn't my job to fix what was happening in her life. She later on popped back up. With the nice manner and way she had been before. I didn't respond and blocked and moved on. Because that aggressive way and accusing me of gaslighting her when I didn't want to do something that she wanted me to do told me everything I needed to know. But here's the thing. Upon first meeting her, she seemed shy, nice, and kind-hearted. But then she turned literally on a dime. And I do not know what was going on in her life. I don't. But, like I've told you all, it's not your job to find out. You see, there are other problems out there that aren't narcissism. That aren't these other types of personality disorders. And there are some people that have real mental illnesses and other life struggles. People that are by and large decent people. But even the professionals will tell you, it's up to that person to take their condition seriously, and there is no excuse for mistreating others. So no matter if that person is a narcissist or something else, if things are going well, then on month 3 they are cursing at you, accusing you of things you didn't do, or whatever, you would be well within your rights to never deal with that person again. But think. Why isn't this being taught? Why are they not spotlighting interviews like the one mentioned regarding human behavior and what to look out for? Because we live in a system of narcissism built by narcissists. For the most part. And they don't want anything to stop them from getting your supply and your money. And the power over your life. Here's the example I've talked about time and time again. The family court system. Marriages are down. Births are down. And most relationships, let alone marriages, can barely get past 6 months to 2 years before they end up in Splitsville. Who does that benefit? Who? Well, there is a giant machine that gets paid. That literally gets paid for the destruction of your personal relationships. And then the children born from such relationships are traumatized and become easy to mold when they are in school. To follow and comply with whatever realities the system wants them to adhere to. Most end up poor drone worker bees. And not thinkers and creators. Because if this was allowed to happen, someone might just point out this problem of narcissism and try to fix it. And we know narcissists and other toxic people don't want the cycle of evil to end. They want it to keep going and going and going. Here's the thing. There are still some decent people in the world. It just seems that we are getting separated by more space and time. Like I've mentioned before. In years past, you could end up marrying the person you met in the 3rd grade. And you were able to vet this person over the years. Was it perfect? No. Were there still narcissists back then? Yes. But this type of way of making friends and finding a life partner gave you a fighting chance at least connecting with someone truly like-minded. Not someone that was pretending. Oh. It's important to note. The person that this strange interaction happened with on my channel many years ago. It took about, you guessed it, 6 months if I'm not mistaken. It could have been a tad shorter or a tad longer. But around that time. So though these problems can show themselves 20 years later, they oftentimes show themselves within the first 6 months to a year. But that interaction taught me something important. To always stay awake. Don't let someone's smile disarm you. You can enjoy that person's smile. And you don't even have to see someone's smile as something sinister. Enjoy it. But just know. You don't know everything there is to know about this person. So take it slow. Take it slow. If someone really wants to be your friend or date you, they will respect your boundaries. I've said before. One of the best ways to get someone to drop their mask or to see what they are about in a dating scenario. If the topic comes up regarding, what are we? Are we going steady? Is this serious? This is where you sit down and talk about your boundaries. That you don't date someone seriously that still hangs out with their exes as an example. Or that goes to happy hour after work. This kind of thing. If they call you insecure. Or petty. Or they hit you with the famous, Who hurt you? Or they call you paranoid? Run. 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 However, someone that might, and I stress might be on the level so to speak, will get and understand where you are coming from. And they will show you with their actions. They won't agree to such terms, then 1 year later they want to go to a wild bachelor or bachelorette party. Again. This is a narcissist do-do test. They want to see if your boundaries are firm. They just showed you who they are. Believe them. Believe them. They just lied to your face and said they weren't this way and that way. And they agreed with you. Now 6 months or a year later, they have completely or somewhat changed their tune. You have to be strong. You have to be strong. Because it's only going to get worse from here if you stay. There are people in the world that love to lie and that love to cheat. They literally love it. And that's what you and I and everyone else needs to wrap our minds around. These people are real. They work in grocery stores. And they work in the highest levels of society as well. And you have to have the skill to walk away. It's not just to slow things down, but to walk away. And when you see these interviews with these people, just know that narcissist you were with, they didn't love you. They didn't even have the ability to love you. And I think when you know that, it makes it easier to come to terms with the fact that your relationship came to an end. Or you have to walk away from the relationship that you are currently in. It's sad. But it is the reality that we live in. And the sooner more people start to see these truths, the easier it will be for those that are truly like-minded to connect. Well, that's all I have for now. Please leave your comments below. And let's talk some more about this subject. And please don't forget to subscribe. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.